Okay, the next question is from Chris Lambert, and he says, "Hi Tad, what do you think of this advertisement?" He's put a graphic here. There's a question as well. Shall I read the question and then share the
Sure, yeah.
graphic? Okay, so the question is, I'm opening a counseling practice and hopefully I'm now on the right track with my advertising. Thanks to you, I have experience with depression. I don't think he's saying thanks to you, I have experience with depression. I think he's saying this is why punctuation is helpful. I'm on the right track with my advertising thanks to you, full stop. I have experience with depression, ADHD, and anxiety, so I have made that my niche. However, do you think I should make it just one thing, such as depression? I'm just starting out. Thank you for your work. Your YouTube videos and information have been a great help. Greetings from Australia. So,
so there's this question of, should he just pick depression? Should he just pick anxiety? Is that kind of the main thrust of it?
Yes. And he wants your take on this.
Oh, okay.
Can you see it?
Yes, okay. It's counseling an option for 60-minute sessions. Okay, so this is great. The trouble here is, I don't know, is counseling an option for a 60 session? There's so many things to talk about here. One is this idea that I see a lot of people offering discovery sessions, free sample sessions, and there's usually minimal uptake on them. And it seems confusing for people. I just put, it's free. Why would people not want it? Well, they don't want it for 3 reasons. One, fundamentally, they don't see that it's relevant to them. They don't see that you help people just like them with the problems they're having. That's number one. Number two, no idea who you are. They don't trust you. There's no credibility. You know, it's an enormous risk, especially on something very personal and emotional like this, to set a time to talk with somebody that you don't know. There's no photo of Chris here. And so this makes it, who is this guy? You know, even if you go to Psychology Today and check out a lot of the profiles, a lot of them don't even have photos. And so it just feels too risky. Who is this strange, mysterious person I don't know? I'm going to book an hour with them. So number one, it's not relevant. Number two, it's not credible. Number three, the lack of value of just return on investment. You know, for some people, it's like, well, am I just going to talk about my problems for years and never resolves? Like, is this money going to, investing this money going to help? And will me spending time with this person help? So that's the first thing to know is for everybody, the idea of offering a free session, like, oh, this is so compelling. This is the natural first step. This is the very first thing we should be offering to people, is a free session. I think that's actually down the road a bit. I don't think they're likely to try a free session until they've had other experience with you. You know, a la what we call the pink spoons, the free samples. So that would be things like YouTube videos, or following your Instagram, reading articles that you've written, doing some really robust quiz or assessment, reading your bio, poking around your website, just learning about you and your approach and your philosophy, checking out a kind of starter kit that you might have where it's, here's my approach and philosophy to everything, you know, in one place. Until they've delved in a bit, I just think a free session is irrelevant. You lack credibility, and they don't necessarily see the value. So that's a sort of meta thing on this whole idea of doing free sessions. So if you put that as the headline, hey, a free 60-minute session, it's just, why do I care? Everybody's offering free sessions, so why would I want to book the time with you? Okay, a second thing, the font is very hard to read on that right-hand side, the blue. It's almost illegible. And so that's a significant problem. The image is evocative, but I don't totally get it. I would rather see a photo of you, Chris. Here, almost always, I would rather see a photo, and a good photo. This has to be the kind of photo where it's like, oh, that's who I want as a counselor. And the experience with depression, ADHD, and anxiety, that's more on the top. That's the headline. Now, that by itself is not a great headline because it's just everybody says it, and it's a bit broad in general. But if it was, the headline was struggling with depression, struggling with ADHD, struggling with anxiety, we're starting to move in the right direction. That's still too broad because there's still so many people, people will just tend to skim over that. But this gets to the niche thing, right? So do we focus just on depression, just on ADHD, just on anxiety? So it's a much larger question around niche because it might be, well, first of all, the thing we want to avoid, and for therapists in particular, is the laundry list of symptoms, right? Depression, ADHD, anxiety, also trauma, also grief, also, and it's, oh, you help with everything. And the longer that list gets, the less credibility there is. If you say you specialize in depression, you're just automatically more credible. Oh, because that's what this person does. Now, the trouble is, of course, if they're going down to the harbor to get on a boat to get from island A of depression to island B of less depression or happiness or joy, or their life feels better. They get down to that harbor and there are thousands of boats promising to take them from that island to the other island. So in that way, it's also, well, everybody says this. Everybody, says they can help with this. So then there's a number of ways you could go with that niching. One is you take that symptom of depression, but you then contextualize it in a very specific thing, like, is depression destroying your romantic relationship? Is depression affecting you at the job? Were you just fired because of your depression? Are you losing friends because you? So you can think about for yourself if you struggled with it, which it sounds like you did. Then you think about, okay, what was the biggest cost of that for me? And you could lead with that. Another way to do it is the without frame. So how to handle your depression without having to be on medication your whole life, for example. There's the even if frame. Hey, how to deal with your depression, even if it seems impossible, even if you've tried other things. But you can also lead with your point of view on this and connect it to the symptoms. So it could be, hey, what if depression is a result of Tad Hargrave? What if depression is a result of nutrition? Some people might say, what if depression is a result of, or like, hey, what if depression wasn't hard to resolve? What if depression is, so you might have an opinion about depression that is sort of contrarian. So you could lead with that. I think of Suzanne Kohlberg, a colleague of mine, where she said, what if being overweight is the result of overgiving? That's a headline. It's compelling enough, because if you just say, hey, want to lose weight, everybody says that. There's a million boats with that, but she was the only one leading with that. So those are some thoughts about this. But generally, for everyone, the thing that Chris did great is the URL and everything's at the bottom. The name HighlanderCounseling.com is at the bottom. The mistake a lot of people make is at the very top. It's Highlander Counseling, big and bold. There's your logo, and nobody cares. Just nobody cares. What they care about is their problems. And I'm just going to try to read this text here. So counseling can help us balance the idealized self and the actual self, strengthen trust in ourselves and others, achieve better self-awareness, seek, sustain,
Healthier relationships.
Oh, I see. Achieve healthier expression, boost self-esteem, self-reliance with, what does that say?
With commitment and effort.
With commitment and effort, most people can achieve their desired outcomes in up to 10 to 15 sessions. Okay, well, so, beat your depression in 15 sessions
Hmm.
is automatically a better headline. Instead of burying it, that's, you might just want to lead with that. And my guess is people know what counseling is. I would much rather see you, if you're going to use that paragraph, put your point of view about depression in that paragraph. I just think most people understand what counseling is. So this just doesn't feel that useful. I think that real estate could be used for something much more compelling. Like, I believe depression is caused by XYZ. It can be resolved by ABC. That would be interesting for me to read. And then your photo, better headline. And then the free 60 minutes, I put just above the contact info. Like, if you'd like to explore this with me, you can book a free 60-minute session. The one last thing I'll say is, if you're going to offer a free session, I would filter the hell out of that. You don't want to be doing free 60-minute sessions with a lot of people who are not going to be a fit, I would say. So I would have a page of just, hey, before you book, read this to see if we're a fit. So it could be like highlandercounseling.com.au/free session. When they get there, there's a video from you saying, hi, you just saw my ad about depression. As I introduce myself, my name is Chris. And below there's some criteria I'm looking for to see if you're a good fit. Please read that. And if you feel like you're a good fit, I'd be happy to do a free 60 minutes. That immediately will just, first of all, introduce them to you, but it will start filtering out the people who are never going to be good clients, that either not book or they'll be nightmare clients. Either way, it's a waste of your time. So, okay, there you go.
Okay, I'll just stop sharing. I had one thought, Ted. Can I add something?
Oh, please.
It's
Yeah.
just, if this is a flyer that's going to be printed, I've seen people putting the QR codes on there, which can go. That could go directly to a video of you talking.
Interesting. That's great. Yeah, wonderful.
Because that's got to be the most important thing with a therapist, right? Like, do I like this person? Do I like their vibe?
Oh man, completely. So many. There've been times I booked a therapist. I just, within seconds of sitting down, I thought if I'd known this was their vibe, I wouldn't have booked.
Yeah. Okay, Chris, let us know how you get on with your niching.